On the slate for today's show, Jimmy Garoppolo trade rumors and trade destinations. Also, Richard Sherman eviscerated the Seattle Seahawks. That's all coming your way. But first, we are 149 people away from 55,000 subscribers. And a fascinating offseason awaits for the San Francisco 49ers. We have you covered every step of the way. News, rumors, draft and free agency coverage. So hit that red subscribe button down below if you want to be a part of the faithful family here at Chat Sports, and let's talk some Niners football right now. Welcome into the 49ers Report by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Chase Sr. Today's show presented to you by the Fetch Rewards app. It's my hope that San Francisco is rewarded, a first or second round pick for Jimmy Garoppolo. By scanning your receipts, no matter where you make a purchase, you can get rewards thanks to the Fetch Rewards app and get 3,000 bonus points to start off with. Go to chatsports.com/fetch, that link at the bottom of your screen. Enter the promo code 49ers. We'll tell you more about the Fetch Rewards app coming up here in just a few moments. So let's get into everything that's going down with Jimmy Garoppolo. And ESPN put forward a pretty interesting exercise where they had reporters that cover all of these different teams, represent general managers in the NFL, and they all submitted their trade offers for the rumored top quarterbacks in the market. Aaron Rodgers, Russel Wilson, and Jimmy Garoppolo on that list. And ESPN really predicts that there will be a vast market for Jimmy Garoppolo, and it's easy to see why. I understand that Jimmy G is a polarizing figure within the faithful. Some people love him, some people hate him, and there's really no middle ground. But the truth about Garoppolo is he's respected in the locker room, he's respected across the league, he's gained and garnered the respect of coaches, he's won a lot of games, and he's about in that middle tier of quarterbacks in the NFL. Doesn't do anything special athletically, but he's a nice and steady quarterback who in 2 of the last 3 years, 2 of which of the seasons he's actually been healthy, he's led the Niners to the NFC Championship game and 1 Super Bowl berth. So here's what Jimmy Garoppolo said about his 49ers future in his farewell press conference. He said this the other day. We'll get you caught up really quickly in case you missed it. Garoppolo, quote, "I was talking to general manager John Lynch on Monday about finding the right destination and whatever the future holds, just doing it the right way. I've got a long career ahead of me. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about the opportunities to come. I just want to go to a place where they want to win. That's really what I'm in this game for. I'm here to play football, win football games, and as long as I've got that and good people around me, I think the rest will take care of itself." We talked about this earlier on in the week on the 49ers Report, and Garoppolo basically threw up the deuces in what could be and probably is his last press conference as the starting quarterback for this illustrious, historic, and awesome franchise. So before we hop into these Jimmy Garoppolo trade destinations and these trade proposals, I want to ask the audience this. What round pick do you think the Niners can get back for Jimmy Garoppolo? I'm going 2. I think 1 is too lofty. You let me know in the comment section. This will also be the pinned comment on today's video. So if you get hit with that YouTube ad break, just scroll on down and get your votes in. As for my list of Jimmy Garoppolo trade destinations, this has grown over time, really over the last couple of weeks as well. These are all franchises that either need a quarterback or could be in the market for a quarterback in the 2022 NFL offseason. Pittsburgh Steelers, the Washington Commanders, that new logo and name is still really weird to look at and say, the Carolina Panthers, Denver Broncos, Green Bay Packers, because the future of Aaron Rodgers is uncertain. Could he come back home to his hometown squad? Potentially. The Cleveland Browns, New Orleans Saints, New York Giants, and Tampa Bay Buccaneers rounding out this list. Of course, the Bucs now on it because Tom Brady officially retired. So I think all of these teams could be in the market for Jimmy Garoppolo. And when you canvass the landscape of available quarterbacks and this year's draft class being somewhat weak as compared to years prior, I think Garoppolo will have a vast market. Let's start off with this first trade idea from ESPN. And it's a deal between the Niners and the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers in desperate need of a QB because the Sam Darnold experiment didn't work out. By the way, Darnold got back a second-round pick to the Jets. Who would you rather have? I'm rolling with Jimmy G 7 days a week and again on Sunday. So the Panthers get Garoppolo, and the Niners receive a 2022 fourth-round pick and a 2023 second-round pick. I'd rather have the second-round pick in 2022 because the Niners traded away their first-round pick this year to move up for Trey Lance. But at the end of the day, I don't think that this trade proposal is all that bad if you can get a second-round pick and a fourth-round pick back for Garoppolo. Now, as I mentioned off the top, today's show is presented to you by the Fetch Rewards app. Like Deebo Samuel, this app is a game changer. Why is that, Chase? Because you can get free gift cards for simply scanning your receipts with your phone, a free download, and the app is extremely easy to use as evidenced by the video to my right. So no matter where you make a purchase, a large retail store like Walmart or Target, or if you like supporting local businesses like me, especially during the hard times during the pandemic, all you have to do, whip out your phone, pull up the Fetch Rewards app, take a picture of your receipt. You get bonus points for every receipt that you take a picture of, and over time, those bonus points stack up. And then over time, you're able to get free gift cards to places like Amazon, Target, Fanatics. You want your morning coffee paid for by Starbucks? You can get that too. So basically, you earn any points on any receipt, no matter where you make a purchase, and you get free gift cards. Do you like free things? I like free things as well. And if you sign up by using our link, chatsports.com/fetch, and enter the promo code 49ers, you get 3,000 bonus points to start off with. I'm going to put that link for the Niner Gang in the comments section as well as the description of this video. Now, going back to that Panthers trade, David Newton is the Panthers beat reporter. Here's what he had to say about that trade proposal playing the role of general manager. Garoppolo has proven he can lead a team to the playoffs, and the Panthers believe with a rebuilt offensive line and a defense built to win now, he would do the same thing for them. And Carolina can use its first-round picks over the next 2 years to add help around him, starting with a left tackle. My prediction continues to be, and my prediction has always been, that Garoppolo can fetch San Francisco a second-round pick. Now, there have been some rumblings from some people that because he led the Niners to 3 consecutive road wins against Matthew Stafford, Dak Prescott, and Aaron Rodgers, that maybe he can get a back end of the first-round pick. Carson Wentz got a protected first. I think it's safe to say Garoppolo, because he's somewhat limited, somewhat injury-prone, can get a second-round pick for San Francisco. Now, we have a couple more trade offers to break down. But first, I want to ask you this. Among the teams that I listed and the teams that we're about to get to, which team do you think is the best fit for Jimmy Garoppolo? Where do you think he could go and have a lot of success and also get some nice draft capital back? My choice is the Pittsburgh Steelers, the team that we're about to talk about right now. So without further ado, trade idea number 2 from ESPN. Steelers get Jimmy Garoppolo. I also like some of these trade offers because the Niners are only giving up Jimmy G and not additional compensation. And the 49ers do not get a second-round pick. Instead, it's a third-round pick in 2022, a sixth-round pick in 2023, and the Steelers are like, okay, you know, we're going to take half of Garoppolo's salary. We're not going to give you a second-round pick. Now, I don't like that trade idea as compared to the Panthers trade idea. I do like the Pittsburgh Steelers as the best fit for Jimmy Garoppolo. He goes from one historic franchise to another. He goes from one really good coach to another, from Kyle Shanahan to Mike Tomlin. The Steelers always have good wide receivers. They've been among the best organizations at drafting that position. They have a really good tight end in Pat Freiermuth, who I covered at Penn State. Najee Harris is their running back. And they have the necessary pieces around Garoppolo where I think he'd be able to flourish there. And I think his toughness would certainly cater to the Steel City. From the Pittsburgh Steelers back to the NFC in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. In this trade idea, the Buccaneers get Jimmy Garoppolo, and they just send a second-round pick to San Francisco. Not much more than that. Now, I would take this trade idea because you get that coveted second-round pick, and this allows you to continue to build your football team. You don't have that first-round pick, but you do have needs on this team, especially in the secondary. And in the second round, last year the Niners passed up on Asante Samuel Jr. to draft Aaron Banks. I hated that at the time. I still hate it now because I think Asante Samuel Jr. is going to be a good player. The point here being there are still good cornerbacks left in that second round, and San Francisco can get one of them and use their other second-round pick on a different area of need. Jenna Lane is the Buccaneers beat reporter. She said this: assuming the Bucs can keep their core roster intact, one could argue that they're really only a quarterback away from staying in contention. And this one wouldn't break the bank, allowing them to keep their free agents. Garoppolo is no Tom Brady, but he has Super Bowl experience. He played with Brady in New England and could, at the very least, serve as a bridge to Kyle Trask. Jimmy Garoppolo replacing Tom Brady. I'm totally here for the drama. There were rumblings and rumors it was going to happen in New England when people were trying to say Tom Brady, long in the tooth, he's on the final couple of holes on that back nine, he's washed. As we know, Brady kept playing until he was 44 years old. I will add this, though, to this conversation. Tom Brady played 22 years. He never asked for another backup to get traded other than Jimmy Garoppolo. He felt threatened, in my opinion, by Jimmy G. For Jimmy G to replace him, that'd be pretty quality content for the NFL. So I think the Niners can get a second-round selection back for Jimmy GQ. Do you think they can as well, or do you think that my asking price as Chase Sr., the general manager, is way too high? Type Y for yes, type C for Chase, man, you crazy. Get those votes in the comment section. Last trade idea with the Washington Commanders. How many times are we going to slip up and still say the Washington football team? I think a lot of people are going to say that. I'm not, because I'm just flawless and I'm humming here on today's show. Jokes, sarcasm, not cocky, just confident. Commanders receive Jimmy Garoppolo, and the 49ers get a third-round pick and fourth-round pick. The third in 2022, the fourth in 2023. John Keim, Washington beat reporter, said this: Garoppolo is considered a strong leader, and while his injury history is concerning, the cost is not prohibitive. He'd be an upgrade, though perhaps just a temporary one, depending on his play. And yeah, that's true. But Jimmy Garoppolo is better than Taylor Heineke. He's better than Ryan Fitzpatrick. And the reason why I like this exercise, we're able to kind of take the temperature of how all of these organizations are operating at this moment, and we kind of can feel around as to what San Francisco can get back for their former starting quarterback. Now, if a Jimmy Garoppolo trade happens, you know who has you covered faster than everybody else? You know who has you informed better than anybody else? You know who entertains you and educates you better than everybody else? It's the San Francisco 49ers Report by Chat Sports. Let's get to 55K with this video. And if you want to stay in the know with all things Niners, hit that red subscribe button down below. Many of you are probably fatigued and tired of the Jimmy Garoppolo talk, and you watched this show up to this point because you wanted to hear Richard Sherman blast the Seattle Seahawks, because the Seahawks, probably the 49ers' #1 rivalry in the gauntlet of the NFC West. Richard Sherman was on his podcast, and man, he just laid into Seattle, and it was absolutely glorious. Here's what he had to say. The Seahawks cut me in the middle of my torn Achilles rehab, and then the fans still had the audacity to get mad that I signed with San Francisco. I didn't leave. I got fired. To cut somebody in the middle of Achilles rehab, you don't do that to your enemy. And yeah, how do you do that? That's a cold move from Seattle, but as we saw with Richard Sherman, as we saw with Earl Thomas, Seattle don't care. And the NFL is a brutal business, and you know what it stands for? Not for long. You know what fan also stands for? It's short for fanatics, and we see this all over the place. I mean, there's a Niners fan in a coma because they got in a fight with the Rams fan at SoFi Stadium, and then these Seattle fans are bashing Richard Sherman for leaving for San Francisco after the team had cut him and fired him. I love the emotion of fans, but sometimes you got to keep it in check. Here's the juiciest quote, in my opinion, of what Sherman had to say. Taking a dig at Russel Wilson. Okay, I'm here for it. You have not been anywhere close to a Super Bowl, Seattle, since letting Russ cook. you will not be anywhere close to a Super Bowl letting him throw 30 to 40 times a game. Because not only are you stopping the clock, so your defense, your time of possession, your propensity to turn the ball over is only going to increase. It's clear at this point that it's the 49ers, well above the Seattle Seahawks. And I wonder if you asked Richard Sherman, which fan base did you enjoy playing for more, what he would say. Niners, Seahawks, right now bitter blood with Seattle, only a couple years in San Francisco, but hey, the Golden Gate City, San Francisco, the faithful the Niner Empire, they'll always trump the Seattle Seachickens. Speaking of the Seattle Seachickens, I want all of you right now to get into the comments section and throw some shade to that fraudulent organization in the Pacific Northwest. I know they've owned San Francisco. Hopefully that comes to an end here in 2022. We're having fun on today's show. You have fun as well by typing Seachickens in the comments section, and thanks for hanging out with me.